Hello everybody, good to speak to you, good to see you for this very first time. My name is John. I'm going to start a series on this YouTube channel. And the name of this series is called John Talks. And I will tell you the reason why it's called John Talks. It's called John Talks because my name is John and I'm going to talk. The reason we wanted to start something was because we see people all the time and we make great connections with you. But you know what ends up happening is we meet with you and then we never see you again. Or we might only DM you on Instagram and we'll chat to you a little bit. But then eventually there's nothing that's consistent there. We want to communicate with you guys. And we felt like the best way to do that was through YouTube. So soon, Ben's going to be starting a series. Sammy's going to be starting a series. But this series is called John Talks. And I wanted to use it as an opportunity to chat to you guys. So John Talks is going to be like a series that just happens. It's going to be like, I could play quizzes one day, I could play games one day, I could go and review like some news that's happening in the world. It could be us just talking about ourselves. It could be that you guys send in a load of questions and then I answer a load of questions about the kind of things that you could be interested in. But today what I decided I would talk about me. John. I'm going to talk about John. And what I thought was a lot of you know me as a musician, as in we came into your school or we came and we did a gig or you saw us live at an event. So I wasn't always a musician. I haven't always rapped. I always kind of sang a little bit when I was younger. I was born in a little town called Rugby. If you've heard the rap Jesus Freak, you will know that. If not, go and check that out. It's on this channel. And born in a little town called Rugby. And I never really rapped or anything until about the age of 17. Now, what happened when I was 17 was I was having a really tough time in my life. I was making some really bad decisions for myself. There's lots of stuff that I got involved with in my life that I was really negative about. I really wasn't good. But I was a young man trying to figure out my life. And when I was making these decisions, it had such a huge impact on my life. And it got to the point where I was so sad. I was writing lyrics at the time, and one of the lyrics was, I'm in a cage and the world can't hear me. Felt like I caged myself in. And there was nothing in my life. I believed in nothing. I felt nothing. And I kind of hated living. And I was in a relationship that wasn't good for me, and I was involved with a load of guys that weren't good for me, involved in kind of violence and stuff like that, which wasn't good. And I was like, I'm stuck. I hate it. I hate what's going on. And I prayed. I'd never really properly prayed before. I'd never thought about what I was saying. I was like, look, God, if you're real, can you help me out? Because I'm really stuck. And I waited and nothing happened that night. Like, I went to sleep. Nothing happened. I woke up to a phone call from my brother. And he said, look, John, I don't know what's happening in your life, but I feel like, he's a Christian. He said, I feel like you need to change the way that you're living. Stop following the plan that you've got for yourself and start following the plan that God's got for you. I was like, sick. This is an answer to the prayer the night before. But what does that look like? I don't understand. First of all, it looked like me moving away from the town that I was living in, Rugby, just because I needed to get away from all the craziness and madness that was happening there. And I moved to London, to West London. And I started working as like a youth worker there with a load of guys who were great, and I loved them, and they all rapped. And I would try and chat to them as their youth worker, help them make good decisions, and they just wouldn't listen to me, right? And I was so frustrated. I was like, why don't they listen to me? Why don't they listen to me? And one day we were in a minibus, and they were all rapping at the back, and they were rapping bars. Like, if you love rap, you realise, like, you learn people's bars. If you like the flows, if you like the rhyme schemes, then you're going to be doing it. And that's what they were doing. They were rapping along, and I was thinking, if I could learn to rap and put some goodness in these bars, then at that point they can learn and they'll know what I'm talking about, and it's amazing. So I decided I was going to start rapping. Right now, at the time in London, everyone loves rap. Everyone loves rap in London. In London, everybody raps as well. I was like, what on earth am I going to do? So I started learning to rap. And I was terrible. I wrote the worst raps ever, but I felt like it was part of this plan that God had for me, that I was talking about before. So I'm like, right, I need to make sure I'm doing this. A couple of years went by, I got better and better. at rapping, more capable, and people started learning my lyrics. And I realised that actually this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to make lyrics. Part of God's plan for me was making lyrics, writing stuff that was important, that was powerful, so that it could have a positive impact on people's lives. Like, I remember once I went into a school, a primary school, right, and there were these 2 year 4 girls, and these 2 year 4 girls were singing a song by Nicki Minaj, and they were going, "My anaconda don't, my anaconda don't." And basically that song's about rudeness, right? That song is about, like, basically, I don't want to get demonetized, but some rudeness. And I was like, broken hearted. The reason I was broken hearted is because those poor girls didn't know what they were talking about. A majority of music today is about rubbish. Like, the majority of music today is about, like, for guys, it's about going out and shanking a guy. For guys, it's about going out and being violent, right? And that's disgusting. Like, I've tried living that life, and you know what? It's horrible. And it just leads to death and destruction. My mates who were involved in that, one of them died, or they're involved, or they're in prison. And I'm like, why would you want to do that? Why do you want that for your life? That's not good. For girls, it's like, oh, you know what? Like, go out, shake your butt, shake your bum, twerk it out, you know. And music for women tells them that they're only, certainly pop music, and I'm not saying all of it, just some of it. It's like, the only thing you can hope for in life is to go and please a man and become his girlfriend. And that's the purpose of your life, is to please a man. And I'm like, hang on a minute. Women have been fighting for rights for hundreds of years, and for thousands of years, and they're in such an amazing place now. Why in music do we try and go backwards? Why do we treat women as if they're objects in music? And yet it just doesn't work for me. And I believe everyone is made incredibly and beautifully and all, you know, all the amazing stuff. And for some reason, we decided to listen to this music. So I was like, you know what? Forget this. I'm going to write music that's good. I'm going to write music that is about something positive. And yeah, it's about my faith. It is about my faith. But you know what? I'd much rather listen to that than some rubbish that someone else has written that's basically about go out, shank a man and have sex with a million girls. It's just not what life's about. I believe life is about greater things. I believe we're made for greater things. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to write music about that. And then I came up with my name, Just John. And Just John is basically, I can't be anyone else. I can only be me. And this is not me trying to be an impersonation of someone else. This is not me trying to do anything other than be me and be the greatest version of myself that I can possibly be. So I thought the first episode would be me talking about myself. That's how I got to the place. That's how I ended up in SoulBox. I look forward to more videos, guys. I reckon I'll do one really soon. Actually, usually they'll be once every fortnight. But after this one, we'll probably release one a little bit sooner because I feel like I want to give you more. Perfect. Amazing. This has been the first episode of John Talks. Little bit about John. How about that? Comment comment down below. I'm getting used to this. Comment below about if you enjoyed it, what you like, what you want me to do, what you don't want me to do. If you want me to do like a series on quizzes, if you want to ask me questions, do it. That's what I want. If you've liked it, like the video. If you've disliked the video, don't dislike it because it's just annoying. Just write in the comments, this could be better. Yeah, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Thank you for chatting to us. This has been John Talks. See you later.